Hi guys, and welcome to the Rainbow Six Replays YouTube channel. Today we want to present the video highlights of the last chance qualifier match between Team ENCE and Wolves Esports during the Europe League 2024 Stage 2. Don't forget to subscribe and put a like. Enjoy.
What happened with that game with BDS the other day? Starting on their attack with a quick little look towards the top of the back stairs and a quick little look at the bottom. There goes Ella. Oh no, there she doesn't. Holds on, gets the second. And we're off to a particular pace. Skies swaps between the guns, and okay, that shotgun is perfect, but the pistol is even better. Apparently, surely they don't get four. It's a known rush and an attempt. There's at least a response with a shield in that situation. The pressure's coming around. They were hucking the canisters, and as Azox finds Asa, this is just a scratch-off round here for Wolves. Pressure up the top of Shrine. They're looking down towards a jiggled fight that Rykos wins out. ENCE, they will start. Nomad's gone. Not sure if the air jabs had been already deployed, but surely at some point this is Army's going to try and get out of there. There's a take. They got a little bit aggressive, and Deadshot levels things up. Holding on this back dragon shield. They can try and tuck themselves out, but the full stack of Wolves is encircling. There's two quick takes. They've just wrested control as Rykos does the best to hold out, but on the sword's samurai window, and with only 10 seconds, Wolves still need to try and get themselves in, get their heads down. This could very quickly turn into a 2 versus 2, and it does, with Skies just getting that cross angle. The last remaining players of Wolves need to get a shift on. It's a close fight, they win out, but now they just didn't have time.
Right above the kitchen, still that worry of Drum. You see them watching the angles that are being held. Rykos is the one that is trying to hold on, but Lasmo will find a kill onto Sky. So a 2-minute advantage right now before the first turns come back through. And as we find ourselves with a 2-minute advantage for Wolves in the last minute 20 left, it is only Alems left on the board in the pantry trying to hold on for dear life.
Obviously, the old experienced player that came into this French roster that was looking for a little bit of a guideline hasn't quite been able to direct them with the precision and joy of the air traffic controller they probably would have wanted, and with Mowgli getting the swing round onto the...
Of course, there's a piece of utility here and there that are slowing things down, but soon they'll be running into the engagements, and with 60 seconds left, they need to find in their way as Rykos gets the ferry first. It's not the way that Wolves wants this round to go.
Ooh, Deadshot gets Nako, gets some of that pressure back on. Hasn't been able to get his teeth into this game as of yet, but with Mowgli out, as you said, they lose that shot caller, they lose that leading voice. It's now up to the rest of them to try and formulate something in the mess, and that was where they struggled to land the last time. There's a trade out. Deadshot still doing his best to keep the pressure on towards Rykos, keep the pressure on towards the team, but with Azox holding this narrow drum angle, no pressure to his right-hand side, he feels a bit comfortable. They're just going to hope that he's blinded, go for the cover. Surely they don't just shoot in towards gold. It's so narrow. Great thrown flash. They're in. Can they feel comfortable to go for the plant? They do not have much room for error. 15 seconds here, and a C4 will dictate Deadshot's death. There's the cross and the take, and Wolves once again struggling with that final, 10% of the take.
Very impressed by their attacks so far. Of course, it's been a hero play here and there, but also just the lack of being able to deal with something. Nako, I think he got the down into Mowgli, and suddenly we're finding ourselves in a 4-on-3 effectively. Yeah, he did. So before he got airjet blasted out, managed to get enough shots out to injure the player out there.
Whoa.
And suddenly it's only up to Asa.
Wolves locked out this time, and again,
it's not looking too great.
the blinds come around, the tracks are in, and Asa is out. Alems swings boldly, blind into the depth, and is able to find one. Wants the second, but P4 took the secondary out and took the first initiative. They're trying to flood their way in. Deadshot, an important fight one against the reception desk, and now they're just making sure that nobody's immediately cleaning in behind them. But Hap Look at the time, 30 seconds, and they're going for the rotate all the way around up top. They still have the vertical control and still haven't been tested here. And with the eyes on the site, with the eyes on Pantry and Prep, there's no way they can just tuck themselves in. The C4 out on the window, the hop in on the fight is one out by the cross angle, 10 seconds, and a 3 versus 3. Once again, we're in this territory of Wolves. You've just got to send it 2-2. Their eyes on towards the kitchen, but without the idea of getting in and planting. The cover is above Deadshot. He's holding on, holding out hope. Throws himself into the 1 versus 1, but there it is, Skies! With the pistol round the corner, cooked them in.
Small issues that are arising. I mean, LM's, that's experience there, just with the flashbang to come through, instantly peeking and pre-firing, knowing he was gonna...
They barely were able to get anything out of the league itself. 2 wins and 1 overtime loss with their only sort of modicum of points. Wolves were almost second. It came down to the last play day, and here, the Lems opens up. The C4 does perfectly timed. Catch one, Deadshot caught the second. Didn't die in the reload as there's a fight that drops Mowgli in the meantime, but Deadshot is doing his best to hold on. If we can win this out, he might be able to fight his way, and there's some support that's coming as he slowly gets surrounded. Can somebody save Private Mowgli? Asa gets Azox. They are being so careful to get the clean first. There's one drop down, but they'll now know. The players have position of gold, and it's a retake and a spray up. Deadshot really was the reason that round stayed in. They lost the first, doing everything they could to keep the team alive, and to be fair, I mean, didn't get much worse. They win a round, the first in a while, but it is their first defense. Well, the other wall itself is going to be as open as it was. Don't know if they were doing a partially open hole, but at this point it means it's somewhere they can turn their backs to. Back and forth, and Nako does find Mowgli, who took a risk, but Deadshot ever eternally doing his best to keep Wolves in this game. They flood in towards House, towards the top of the VIP stairs here, and they want to try and swing onto this close corners, but P4 in the aggressive position gives it away and still is able to win out. Tucked onto the next, with Skies about to find another hidden player unless Asa gets the cut down. Wolves lock it out. ENCE did their best, but they were on the back.
Small mistakes were made that are just quickly being addressed.
Seconds to go.
I think it's the importance of it being the third round, right? They're still fighting. They're still getting themselves attention to them, but also saying, look, as long as I'm here, things are going to go bad. And Wolves, they react pretty well here. They push themselves up. Unfortunately for them, Skies wins out, but dropped shields, and P4 caught them on the awkward angle of the stairs. They have themselves held on a 4-4. We've had a blow, and nobody else has come on the back of it. I say as Mowgli is found out. The swing is instantly picked up by P4. Big mistake there, but as Lems keeps things back and forth, keeps things into their favor, and Lems makes sure that he nails that home. 30 seconds for Lasmu to try to be that clutch factor here on a tricky site to make it happen. They have themselves coming over the vertical. He's slowly being surrounded. A drop on a hatch is an easy catch, but as the blinds come out, it's a little bit of a disconnect between the application of utility and when they went for the pinch themselves. They're giving them one engagement, and that was almost 1-1 out there, but
Could have ended badly. It didn't this time round. One fell, the other managed to get the kill. That's what we said. Like, they're basically at feet level as soon as they drop the shield. Of course they're going to be able to get that kill at that moment in time. So slight misuse of the means that we're still on a 5v3 or 5v4 on the actual side itself. As Montaigne is stuck in the actual smoke and forced to push the smoke down.
Oh, again, just gunned out, but there's Lasmu getting Nako on the back and play some of the pressure against it. If they can blind it, then they can swing their way up. There's Zafia that's struggling on the window, but there's the motion.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Can they find a second? Can they try and level this up? 40 seconds. They're knocking on the door of site itself, but it is so far from being comfortable, as Mowgli proves. Has the long watch, has the long lineup, and Skies has a long fall down towards the ground. Wolves is the reason they couldn't sit around any longer. Now Lasmu is playing a bit of a danger position, and LMs is playing a dead position, but Mowgli does go down. And at what point can they try and keep pushing? There's the pop-up of Lasmu, sprung and released. And across that, only Rykos has suddenly left. ENCE's approach suffered the great divide of the second story of
In close due to the fact that it didn't have a drone close by. See there, Lasmo able to step up, find themselves a kill. You know, that's just one extra nail in the coffin.
All of it is... Oh, the bench can cause problems, but with the Goo-Mine and Mowgli dropping skies, the perfect opener quickly responded to. Rykos has the cover from the balcony itself. Amonti's about to find a friend. Do they know? This time, it doesn't matter. P4
might be headed towards overtime very soon. Is now aware of the fact that Azix is on top of that window. Upside down, dashes out, but won't make it.
I mean, they took a risk. I say why, but understandably, there's 40 seconds left, and he knew the pressure was coming from above him. It's either take that fight and hope you can get away, as Alems finds Lasmu. Suddenly, they might not be able to get anywhere at all. Aster and Deadshot. All that is left
Attackers have recovered their
of keeping Wolves alive here on their map, the first map of this best of 3, their last chance at getting themselves towards the Montreal Major. But with 20 seconds, and with what is starting to shape up to be the start of the plant, there's a bit of motion. Aster's juggling around the bottom of the main stairs itself, with Alems holding the cut, looks for one. Oh, transfer to the second, but Deadshot, he's been so big in hoping and helping the player and the team towards staying in this fight. Now he has 2 ahead of him somehow. The range on the shotgun seems impossible in his hands, and this suddenly seems possible in making it able to get the player up. The pings are there. You gotta move. You gotta go for it, and they do. ENCE, they're finally able to push this one over the line.
It was a real game of who wins attack there. That's pretty much it.
I think if you're going to be taking Skyscraper as a map, you have to be picking up more than one round on it. And I'm not entirely convinced that Wolves understood the win conditions here today. We saw quite a lot of differences in the way that both of these two teams approach.
Swings via a closed doorway, which is the lesser seen route, or you're taking the corner and being able to stack those, make things uncomfortable on big.
As you see, Nico is currently worried about someone potentially coming up from the white stairs area. Mowgli is being pushed, but it's the crossfire that was ready as a trade comes in from either side.
Honestly, ENCE playing a Monty at this point. I'm waiting for Pengu to say that another pro player shouldn't be allowed to use the operator. It has just not worked. For them, it's almost the advertisement against why the operator is so powerful. But Alems and Skies are proving that ENCE still have some power, and caught through the soft. Who's to blame? Give droning a good name. The last take on white stairs. Alems just fired up. That thing's happened here, but how aware? Alems gets the first engagement almost and gets dropped. Deadshot. It was good movement there from the pair of Wolves. They knew that someone was playing that bait play, and they knew that they could do a 2 versus 1.
On top, being hunted down by Nako, or at least you think, but he's watching verticality as Azar will take down Azix. That is going to be that blitz shield gone. It's now just a 2-on-5 pure guns. There is Roamer still up and about that they need to worry about.
You can see that Rykos is finding his own engagements inside Bakery and does get the first, but with 30 seconds and now the only one left, it's just a failure to land here. Whatever approach ENCE wanted to make come together hasn't quite netted them anything more than a couple of pity kills, and Rykos with a lot of work to do. The player in coat check can sit there and wait to play on contact if they want. It's a gauntlet of death. As they step into the boots that we saw at the beginning, we also see players so ready for this. As I said, they're just playing on contact. They don't need to put this into the wind. Remember, Wolves, they're 1 map away from devastation, but 1 round. Floors a paper to a Deimos. The shield drops down right onto a Goo-Mine. They know the train's clear, so they're just going to get that Goo-Mine out and maybe try and get that shield on their back, turtle it off and plant. They have some coverage of the windows, and you're waiting at this point. Wolves, where's the reaction? 10 seconds. They just need to strike once at the right time, and it's a trade out, but it's suddenly back and forth. There's the perfect place. The play from P4 drops the kick cold in the middle of the room, and although it's a 3 versus 1, they just cannot get themselves in the right timing.
As soon as that push came to where it was, just the back turning towards him. I mean, that's an easy kill for P4. All he had to do was just stand up, and I'm pretty certain that they might have even had that.
Cocktail isn't being tested yet. Instead, ENCE want to try and position themselves maybe to cut off those loose players. Deadshot, I'm sorry. Filthy take on towards the halfway cut of the stairs. There's LMs gets Asta. In and out, and off he pops to make sure they keep themselves 1 kill ahead, 2 kills ahead. P4 is gone. Deadshot and Lasmo, all that's left.
Will the fight taking place off the actual side itself? I believe just P4 died near it, actually on the middle part of that wide stairs. Now the pressure is coming down onto Lasmo soon, and I'm wondering if they know where he is. They know where Deadshot is because they've been engaging him vertically. They've been trying to find a new angle to try and take him down from, but Lasmo is a bit of the, you know, the unknown factor, the danger factor, if that matters. But he gets shut down. Nako wins the gunfight, down on 3 HP. They know Deadshot's somewhere around mining, somewhere around train, and there you go. Finally the vertical angle is found, and will get that kill.
I think we're about to do a 3-2-1. Let's boogie. They're in. They're trying to cut their way across the cover and the blinds itself. Now LMs is able to win out the first, and he is just holding down. Left click to get the follow through on the second. The Blitz wants to get this Goo mine out so they can start screaming through, and the Glaz is only on a sliver of health. Lasmu holding on for everything that he can, but he can't get that. Skies gets the cover, and the canister will buy them at least a pocket of the prep window. The continual push is finally cut by Asta, but P4 has to know the right time to move. And it's the only time he can make left. He wanted that smoke to dissipate so he could put the pressure onto the Glaz in a clean or even firefight. Sprays through and gets lucky, but ENCE, they get even luckier. What a great scream through. They ran the
smoke, so that's a huge pick to come through from LMs at that moment of time. For a second I was afraid that this one Goo mine would just completely destroy the entire rush though, because Azax was wanting to go in quick with that blitz, the Goo mine instantly slowing him down to like just being basically limping onto the side itself. But LMs with a huge round there, and a great call from It is also 50-50. It's the only one that's perfectly reflected. The pressure comes immediately on towards here. The VIP as Nako gets one and Deadshot's able to trade it out. They get some use of the blitz. Azox doing a demonstration of different shield usage, and it used. It's perfect play there. LMs doubles down before being shot down by Lasmu, but Lasmu is all that left with Azox getting the end of it. The actual scoreline, we're finding ourselves with a 4-2 in favor of ENCE now, and the shield finally getting some use out of it. What is it, like round 7 where the shield is being used, and finally we see like the oppressive capabilities it has on the actual killing game. Expect a push to come behind it. I think it just came into Cigar. The Nitro Cell is going to be too early or too late. No matter how you want to go for it, as a trade comes through, Sky somehow manages to rotate up red stairs. Will be shut down eventually. Now it's a 2-on-4 situation. P4 on 1 HP as Ryko's going outside for a little bit of an adventure, but as waiting out there, knew that was going to be happening where he is, and well, he hasn't been offered that first engagement, so he goes to where they're trying to get the plant confirmed. Now this side will be watched, as it is Asa. Castle barricades as Nako knows about one person up top. He's in cocktail belt. Do they know? No, they don't. And Deadshot now falls as well. And this is what I was afraid of. Like, that plant failed. They send Lasmu and Deadshot in there basically without, or Lasmu in there without any support. Got shut down. And then they lost all control that they might have had, as Nako will finally be punished for it after he finds yet another. And now P4 and Aza find themselves in a 2v4 situation. They do have capability to start opening up some of the verticality out here, but they don't have the time. They would have started off with the round if they did this from the get-go. 60 seconds to make everything happen. Luckily, it's soft breach and hard breach. It is basically everything you need to open up the side to some extent. It's just that the numbers advantage is really not in their favor, and as they're trying to collapse on VIP now with the flashbang, it's Azax that's completely blinded, but they don't work on this together. It's a one-on-one kind of swing to come through, which will be in favor of Aza. Now a 3 versus 2, 30 seconds. They have some time to work with, but the limitations start to come towards only 2 flashes and these Habana pellets. They're cutting a slow route through. They're cutting their only route towards the bomb chassis. Maybe try and tuck the plant. Hopped up on the sink window and locked out immediately either side. Now from the loss of the first player to a convincing round here, but I also kind of am questioning the approach that was taken here. Like, Lasmo was just sent in deep into Kocak, and it's only a matter of time before either he dies or he finds himself a kill in the middle of the site. And to try and play against this range, the Buck, I'm assuming, got on the wrong side of a firefight they opened, and Alems and Rykos get on the wrong firefight of Wolves.
Once again, that switch has flipped. They've changed it, they've reversed it, and in the Missy Elliott styling, they're going to see if they can try and work it. Down towards the site, they're eyeing up every possible engagement here, ENCE. They want to try and just hold them off and maybe take the drop here, Nyko, and lead the rest of the response. It's so cautious, it's so thin, these margins. And with 10 seconds, Wolves, they've got to land it and stick it once. Blinded out, the push is coming to shove. They're forcing them off a fireplace, and Mowgli forces Skies out of the map. It's a bit of width, it's a bit of an angle, but there's the cover. Well played, Wolves, for fighting that one.
And that just means there's so much time for these attackers to start working it. Yeah, that Nitro, I don't know how he didn't get it.
That's just one of those things, right, where you'll watch that back and go, I should have got a double kill there, but also the game says no.
And that ground floor, saw one on Bakery just now, and it was just there as a bit of a flank. You don't want to run out like this! LMs, he did it. They found out, they shut him down before he could do any damage to the attack whatsoever. And that means the opening is here for the side of Wolves. That's going to be a painful one for ENCE as they lose one of their top performing players, but Azix finds one, goes for the jump out, completely blinded as he gets injured as well. There was someone waiting below for him.
It looked like he was lined up, but the flash was timed so well for the side of Wolves. And now, as they bleed themselves in towards Cocktail, they're trying to serve up a dose of pain, but Nako's the only thing on the menu for now. Lasmo, seeing if he can secure it amongst the chaos underneath the hatch. He's holding on to a very delicate line, but he gets it landed, although he is all that is left. And no! ENCE find the final fight there, and Rykos is the only one standing. That is the margin that we're playing with, but the margin now for Wolves is 1 round left. But when it includes WYLDE, ITB, and G2 alongside Project X, who they've already had a blow and a back and forth with, it's all uphill for ENCE. Every other team ahead of them is one that's tested and beat them. They got to try and just get a quick awareness. The conversations will be blurry, as will Valkyrie's vision as they're the first to fall. Deadshot. They get themselves in, and will Lasmo try and get the plant secured here? They have some eyes, but Asa's gone down. So they need to make sure that there's nobody that's going for the immediate swing. They can't secure the plant, and Nako secures Mowgli. It's a 3 versus 4 technically, unless they put thrust into their hands, looking for the 2 versus 1, the pinch on a player, but Wolves are the ones trying to keep loose and steady. A 3 versus 3, instantly leveled as Skies, changes that with the blitz gone. Asa makes sure that someone is still fighting, and Lasmo has to cover Skies. Could be the difference. They're both so low, so hurt, and pistoled out there, but with 18 seconds, has to sprint for the fight. The C4 is the attempt. It's not quite close enough. Asa's playing this well. He pulls himself away. They're going to go for the long arm, and no! Asa gets the end of it.
It was down to that 1v1. It was just a single shot. And remember, if Asa was confirmed after he went down, that would have been over now. It would have been ENCE that would have continued on the bracket. But the push instead will be coming towards a VIP, but they're waiting! They're ready on the crossfire! That's the Montaigne gone, Emmy!
That's the Montaigne gone. That's the follow-on to Mowgli as well. Deadshot Lasmo and Asa in the situation of keeping the dream alive here. Skies checked in behind Bakery. Deadshot trying to check out the rest of that push, but look at the kit hap. It's isolated, it's stuck. You have to try and then circle the player around VIP, force the way through, and they cannot do that. Azos gets one, Nako gets one more. Lasmo is nowhere to be seen. ENCE defeat their demons, defeat Wolves. Wolves are hounded.
Drink Red Bull.
Okay, well, I think he's ticked off all the things from the sponsor boxes there coming into this interview here, but we're looking at the comparison of the entire series here, guys. And the one thing we want to talk about as well, the player who we just interviewed, I think ENCE has shown us a great improvement as well, hasn't he, Leo?
Yeah, he stepped up. I think one of the things we were looking for is this leadership figure to come up and be the interesting pickup or the difference maker in most of this series. And if you look at the difference between his entire stats this stage and his stats this matchup, that's exactly where we wanted him. Also playing on flex support operators. So that's great for him to actually be in positive KD, get 5 entry kills in 2 maps, playing flex support. That's crazy. We really needed him to step it up.